Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Space Weather. I be your host, Dan, aka smAsho. And we've got Sunspot 2776 to talk about, as well as various other things going on. So let's get into it here at the Smash News Network. Least busted name in news. The last images you were seeing were the 171 angstroms coupled with the colorized magnetogram. Now we're looking at 131 angstroms from the SDO, about 1 day of solar activity, and you can see former sunspot 2775 in the lower right and sunspot 2776 in the lower left. It actually appears to be an alpha class sunspot. It's got quite a lot of umbrae there, but they are all North Pole, I believe. And by the end of the video, we will let you know for sure. Incidentally, we do have the pop-out chat available, so if you'd like to leave us a comment, etc., we may display it or even read it on the air. Who knows? We may read it on the Earth, Air, Fire, and Water. Who knows? And we've got some custom Helio viewer movies of Sunspot 2776. Here it is in magnetogram. Not a lot of changes going on with it. Pretty stable over the past about 24 hours. Here it is in 304 angstroms, and we saw a bunch of B-class flares come out of it. Those would be X-ray flares. High-intensity photons, yes, yes. We'll get to it in a minute. First, 171 angstroms. Almost always my personal favorite view. And let us know in the comments what your favorite wavelength is. Keep in mind, folks, different wavelengths are used for different things. The 304 shows great filamentary behavior. 131 and 94 both take 10 images per minute instead of only 2. And let's get to some more imagery here. First, we'll look at some graphs. It's a 10.7 centimeter radial flux, which is now up to 75, actually. KP index has been pegged at 0 for over 24 hours, making it a full KP0 day. So let's have a look at cosmic rays. First, at Apparel and Barentsburg. We'll look at the past 30 days, as well as the daily chart for what is going on there. And never ask what is in your host's mug. When your host raises a mug, just assume the worst. Never ask what's in the host's mug. Anyway, Apparel pretty flat over the past 30 days, as you can see. Barentsburg, a downtick over the past 30 days. Let's go farther south to Athens, Greece. And that doesn't look like a graph. I think there could be some problems. And we've definitely seen some erroneous data there also. We'll head to Mexico City next, which looks flat over the past 30 days. And lastly, Oulu, Finland, and DOMC, Antarctica. Let's shrink it down. There we go. There's Oulu. And this one is actually displayed on the homepage of spaceweather.com. which I have no official affiliation with. Yes, we would be interested in interviewing the owner of spaceweather.com, as that's where I started watching Space Weather on a daily basis back in about 2002. Back when I used to be an insurance agent, yes. And there is the DOMC Antarctica, flat over the past 30 days. Quite similar to Oulu on the other side of the planet. By the way, if you enjoyed the track we opened the video with, it was Blacksmith. You can get that and 14 others at soundclick.com/goldencatproductions. And we've featured quite a few of those videos on the Daily Space Weather. Next, looking at the GOES X-ray flux. And again, we've seen a series of B-class solar flares here over the past 24. And there you can see a whole bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 flares over the past 24 hours, all low-level B-class flares. No real surprise there, as we see a real sunspot, but it's not a beta class, it's only an alpha class. So that sort of limits the likelihood of larger flares. And the proton flux remains flat. We don't see any coronal mass ejections or anything like that. Next, looking at the real-time solar wind, we see a solar wind density of 5, actually down to 4.74 protons. And one of the lowest solar wind speeds we've ever reported on the channel, 262 kilometers a second. It's awfully slow, and it's making for a weak magnetosphere. Please leave a comment if you have a theory as to where the Earth's Van Allen belts are derived. Are they from space, or are they from Earth? Or are they a combination of from space and from Earth? How come we've got all those electrons? Anybody? Anybody? Crickets? Anyway, there's 4 hours of pressure data. And it's actually pretty interesting here. You can actually see one of the double layers form right at this point. If you look at the right pane there, the noon/midnight meridional plane, you can see right there a double layer forms, and you get a second plasmasphere happening. So that's one of the things that occurs when we see things like changes in the solar wind density and speed. And what happens here, folks, is the Van Allen belts, they trap plasma in these areas. Next, looking at ground magnetic perturbations, looking at changes in the Earth's own B field here, and we don't see a lot of changes happening there. Again, a very weak solar wind. We are solidly in the North Pole current sheet right now, and I would expect us to remain there for the next at least several days, barring some unforeseen magnetic event, which is basically most magnetic events. And so we see a pretty smooth graph here. I would say that the current sheet crossing probably happened back here before we even did yesterday's daily space weather. And next we're going to look at the National Sunspot Observatory Gong 2 data. And you can see the Earth's field force lines finally at least showing up as snapping into the North Pole current sheet shown in green. And where is my epic pen? Oh, it's there. Okay, that's good. And here's a line of sight field plot. We don't see any big changes in the B field here, as sunspot 2775 actually degraded before it. What is going on with that? Epic pen's not being very epic today. Anyway, sunspot 2775 degraded before it reached the edge of the solar disk. And actually, we don't even see sunspot 2776 yet on this image. Next, looking at the coronal field plot. This is the field plot of just the corona. And it's looking a little odd here. I don't know if I'd be too trusting of that. Those coronal hole interactions. And for your new viewers, yeah, Epic Pen is busted today. You're out of here, Epic Pen. New viewers, this shows coronal hole potential magnetic field force lines in purple. It shows open potential field force lines in black, and it shows closed potential field force lines in pink. And I wouldn't get hung up on that. Today's Smash Lights is going to be pretty brief. It's going to be pretty integrated. And the first thing we'll do is we'll talk about COVID. COVID. Leave us a comment if you think COVID is made in China. China. And greetings to Renee, otherwise known as Neighbor J. And thanks for leaving a comment. So we're going to talk about COVID. I'm not going to talk about eradicating it, although you could eradicate it if you head to smAsho.com/affiliate and pick up one of these USB rechargeable UV wands. I don't want to get it too close to the COVID because COVID's pretty fragile, and I could kill it. So let's just stay there, COVID. It's okay. It's okay, COVID. Don't worry. We're not going to breathe on you. All right. So before I talk about COVID, I got to talk about Instagram. Some of you may or may not follow us on Instagram, but you should follow us on Instagram, as it's not quite Facebook. It is owned by Facebook, unfortunately. But yeah, I wanted to talk about, just very briefly, flying squirrels. Yeah. Why? Well, they're the most common squirrel in Pennsylvania. Most people don't know about them because they're nocturnal, so we never see them. But they are all over the place. And today, one of them was all over the place in the living room. Here's a clip. What in the heck? Come on, Instagram, you can do it. Yowzers. You ever get in a fight with your software? You ever let the software win? By washing flying squirrel urine off of your cookie sheet. Yes, there may have been flying squirrel urine involved. And so I found myself washing a cookie sheet this morning, and I found myself viewing a flying squirrel do this in the living room before I caught it with a trout net and a cookie sheet. Let's talk about opening America, something that should be a thing. Now, I've stated many times that, oh my goodness, did you see that? It just mysteriously went away. If I had my watch on, what is it? Is it already the year 2021? How did the COVID just vanish like that? Oh, there we go. It mysteriously came back. Must have been CNN. Dr. Fauci came from a bad side of town. It's Washington, D.C., and everywhere Fauci went, people put Fauci down. Probably because he's a financial hack. And everything that comes out of his mouth should be put right back. And that's why I say, shut up, Fauci. Fauci, shut up. All right, yeah, get that out of my system. Dr. Fauci's been a little inconsistent, which has been making me a little bit irritated. And let's talk about some truths about what a true enemy would have done. It's super obvious that the COVID was over there in China as early as November. And considering the pathetic and infantile response of mankind, you would think that China would have informed the U.S. earlier, as it would have started to harm our economy by Thanksgiving of last year. But they didn't. Why? Because it's not an intentional attack. And that brings me to a very important point. Never blame a conspiracy on that which can be attributed to basic stupidity and ignorance. So let me just repeat that. Never blame a conspiracy on that which can be attributed to basic stupidity and ignorance. It's a lot more likely that people have done something stupid than to have all gotten together and come up with a coherent plan. And if China was trying to undermine the U.S., it would have probably made it look very scary and spooky instead of trying to downplay how much that messed up places like the city of Wuhan. See what I mean? It's just fragile. And yeah, so while China was welding doors shut in Wuhan, because local government officials must have been doing idiotic things there, as they're doing here, the Chinese Communist Party would have probably extrapolated that many U.S. governors would have done idiotic things, and then they would have made it look scarier than it really was, and upplayed it instead of downplayed it, and that would have harmed the economy, and that's what would have happened, and that would have been a coherent plan. That would be what a conspiracy would have looked like. What did we see? We saw the Chinese Communist Party downplaying it, and all kinds of eyewitness footage of stupid, idiotic things like trucks spraying Lysol all around the city areas and so on. Also, people wearing masks. Yes, healthy people going into public wearing masks. It's still stupid. It was stupid then. It's stupid now. And you shouldn't be wearing a mask if you're healthy going out in public. If you're sick, you shouldn't be out in public. But if you must be out in public while you're sick, then I guess you should be wearing a mask. Probably one that actually prevents all of your exhalation vapor from like getting directly out. It's just so ridiculous. So in any case, wearing masks is stupid unless you're sick, or maybe if you're healthcare personnel and so on. And congratulations on surviving a global pandemic so far. Were you disappointed? Was it like that snowstorm that was forecasted where you only got 3 inches and they forecasted 3 feet? Yeah, I noticed. Today we don't really have a cosmology segment, although here's the current state of affairs at Cygnus X3. This thing is ready to blow. Check it out. It's all the way down at the 0 line, which is the exception, not the rule, for Cygnus X3. If you want to watch transients yourself, check out the Neil Gorell Swift Bat X-ray Observatory. And you can monitor X-ray outputs of all your favorite objects, such as Sagittarius A star, SGR1, SGR2. Anyway, there's Sagittarius A star. Yeah, it's actually ramped up a little bit over the past 30 days here. And it's indeed ramped up over the past decade as well, especially the past 7 years. And those are X-rays, by the way. And so we're not really doing cosmology today. Let's talk about free. Were you aware that nothing is
free?
Let me just reiterate that. Were you aware that nothing is
free?
Even the Smash News Network costs money. Just because we don't charge you to see the videos doesn't mean it doesn't cost something to make them. Thanks again for leaving comments, Donna and Renee. Cheers. And thanks for tuning in, of course. If you viewed Memorex, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about things that are free. Now, when it comes to software, if the software is free, you're the product. Were you aware? Were you aware of big tech interfering in elections since as early as 2015? It's gone back a lot farther than that, and we won't get into it in today's video because we'd like it to remain monetized. Anyway, let's talk about free things. Have you ever headed to smashamash.com/forum? Well, smashamash.com/forum is free currently, and we intend to keep it that way. We will eventually put a members-only section, which you have to pay a monthly subscription to be able to view. It's coming. Ask Smash staff. She'll agree. Anyway, give her a raise by checking out the links at smashamash.com, smashamash.org, etc. And let's talk about, how about the Earth and Geophysics Forum? All of our forums right now have a pinned post for the October contest. If you would like a free shirt, all you got to do is sign up for forums and type "sign me up," and you'll be entered into a drawing to win a shirt with this design on it. Yes, it's of Cygnus X3, otherwise known as Deneb. And if you're wondering, it is the most intrinsically bright object visible from Earth. By the way, if you visit our links, we are on Facebook also, by the way. If you go to the Teespring store and you purchase anything, don't forget to put in the promo code MANSA through October 31st. On All Saints Day, there will be a new promotion. The current one is MANSA, if you'd like any of our clothing products, and we're only selling clothing right now at Teespring. Head to smashamash.com, head to the Smash store or the smAsho store. Apply promo code MANSA on checkout and save 10%. We've got all our links on our social media sites. I would recommend you expand your horizons into alt tech. Today's featured alt tech site is minds.com, and there are links to all of our stuff there. Did you see yesterday's Smash Lights segment? Have you seen our latest memes? Have you subscribed over at twitter.com/smashamash? We've got some links there as well, and some exclusive content. I've actually been tweeting. It's pretty fun. And this is going to be 2020's top meme material. Look at that. The blank sheet of paper not being written on by Judge Amy Coney Barrett, who, by the way, is fantastic. If you've heard her utter one sentence, you'd probably like her. Kathy Griffin doesn't like her. And look at all the comedy clubs that are booking Kathy Griffin. Oh my God. She's so funny I can barely contain myself. And we've got some comments. Let's check it out. While I put my meme on the screen. Shout out to Jim G. We're glad to hear that notifications are going out. We typically do see ads on the videos. I think we actually gained 20 subscribers in the past couple of days here on YouTube. It's kind of surprising. Yes, I find Amy Coney Barrett extremely refreshing. I find her to be a protection against tyranny and the overreach of the government. Bravo. And her answering a whole bunch of questions by idiots about completely pointless things like, have you sexually molested anybody? And have you participated in a I don't know. The questions were so ridiculous. I mean, just the look on people's faces was just priceless. And I love it. I love the whole thing. It's fantastic. We do typically stream live to Twitch. Today's video is only streamed live to YouTube, to the point where we actually made a video about how we're not making a video. Check it out. This is how much we appreciate our Twitch people. Video is going to be a live exclusive on YouTube, so make sure you check us out over there, youtube.com. I did a video about how we're not doing a video. How do you like that? Now, we are on YouTube as well. Please don't forget to press like and subscribe over there. And please press like and subscribe to Media Bear. This is one of the best channels. And they've produced the best music video of 2020. Here's a second one of them, and check this out. This is amazing. Let me cite some lyrics before I play this little clip here. Commie with a trust fund, dum-dum, crying in the streets, gonna defund police someday. You've got cloth on your face. It won't stop Mace. Watching you fail brings a smile to my face. Here's a clip featuring No Malarkey Joe.
You're an old man, con man, pleading with the herd, sniffing hair and groping kids all day.
Biden, you're an old man, con man, pleading with the herd, sniffing hair and groping kids all day. You've got cloth on your face, sheltered in place. Now you want Kamala because of her race. Yowzers. That is some epic ownage right there. Oh my gosh. Oh, Media Bear, drop me a line. I want to write more lyrics for you, produce an entire album. Like, oh man, it's like if Weird Al is not on your label, you should be on his. You like, oh, it's. Have you heard these tracks, folks? Seriously, it's freaking amazing. Check this one out. Safety Mask. I mean, this is the best video of 2020. Amazing lyrics. So good. Because I don't wear a mask, and since I don't mask, just stay 6 feet behind. Media Bear. It is... Oh, it's so good. It's so good. This is the best video of 2020 right here. Safety mask. It's only got 134,888 views. So, so go over there, share with your friends and foes. Safety mask and We Will Mock You by Media Bear. It is, it's just fantastic. Oh, and thanks to Katowski. Or is it Katowski? I think it's Katowski. Thanks, John, whose name is now spelled correctly, by the way. One of the other alt-tech choices would be BitChute. We've got exclusive content there. And here ends today's Smashlights segment. Again, thanks for leaving comments, folks. What else do we have here? Let me put up some more interesting graphics. There you go. Yes, Trump rocks extremely loudly for nominating ACB. Damn! Yeah, I agree. It's fantastic. The idea that the Constitution would be upheld instead of treated as an obstacle for your pathetic ideas about political power is just fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic. So I don't know. I don't see any downsides to it. Let's get back to space. Start talking about things like electron flux. It's quite low. There's the 1-year graph. We don't see any charging hazards. No surprises there. We're expecting a flatline electron flux, as you can't get much lower than we are. And there's the 3-day graph. Here's a visualization of the air column, which will give you an idea where GPS errors are occurring, and we're seeing anomalies once again over North America, as well as over Africa at nighttime, the South Atlantic anomaly region. We're seeing some extended electron belts here. And I can say it looks anomalous. You know why? Because I look at it every day. Yeah. If you're wondering what was happening with this like a year ago, go ahead. Look at our daily space weather videos, youtube.com/smashamash/playlists. It's all there. Here's just one slice. It's the ionosphere. And we've been seeing some very anomalous ionospheres over the past couple of days. I won't show the difference images because I know what this looks like myself. I don't need the computer to help me. And that's what happens when you immerse yourself in the data, folks. You'll understand the way these things relate, perhaps, and expand your capabilities. Anyway, here's the latest image here, and again, we've got a lot of charge ups here in the southern hemisphere. A little bit anomalous on the ionosphere. That last image is from 9:45 Universal Time. Here's a star chart. If you're up before dawn, you may see Venus and the Moon teaming up again. Venus and the Moon, the crescent waning moon. Where were you when Deneb set? Look, it's just setting now, right at 6. Right at 6 a.m., folks. And the website's being struck with cosmic ray flux, unable to... Never mind. Just never mind. Here's where things are now in the solar system. There's where things will be in a week. And the stream is not weak. It's looking great. Next, we've got earthquakes. And we actually had one strike here as we did the show in Indonesia. Let's scroll up the list. I know I saw a couple deep quakes here. No large earthquakes. And there's one in Western South America once again. One of the top spots. Check this one out. A quake in Utah at 3 kilometers above sea level. That seems a little odd. Okay, that is a very high location. Practically at the top of that mountain there, south of Straight Canyon. Funky. There you go, an earthquake in Utah at 3,000 meters above sea level. Pretty weird. 3,200 meters above sea level at a 3.3 magnitude. Active volcanoes in Utah? What's up with that? Next, looking at a 4.9. So another deep quake there, similar in location to that last one we covered in Argentina. And then a couple hours later, we see a 4.5 at depth at Timor-Leste there, north of Australia. And let's bring up the chat. Let me just scroll down the chat so everybody's comments can be viewed. Allow me to have a sip of the mystery liquid contained within the smAsho mug. No, we don't tell anybody what's in the smAsho mug. Anyway, we're delighted that you're receiving notifications. Sorry if you're not receiving notifications. We did not send one to Patreon for the YouTube live stream. We can't notify everybody about everything all the time. It's just impossible. What's not impossible is for the Smash News Network to head to volcanodiscovery.com and cover volcanoes. Nevado del Ruiz is back on the list as it explodes and produces a 19,000-foot tall plume of ash, or at least 19,000 feet above sea level. Sange, exploding as well. Flight level 220, a 22,000-foot ash plume there. Revenador and Sabancaya also exploding, producing 15 and 27,000-foot plumes of ash, respectively. See some power outages in California. Shout out to Smash Staff's mom, as she's typically one of the first to suffer from power outages. And we're stoked Louisiana's down to 13,802 of the ones that are tracked. Keep in mind, these never track all of the custies. They're just giving you sort of a representative sample, we hope. We've got some cold air moving in, hard freeze warnings around the Great Lakes regions. And check out Tropical Tidbits here. We've got some extremely anomalously cold weather. That is 12 degrees Celsius below normal temperatures. And that image there is from 1800 Universal Time on Monday, October 19th. So very cold air there, consistently cold air in the entire central portion of the U.S. So currently a little above average. Don't expect it to last, as we get some very cold air coming in from central Canada. Shout out to our viewers from international locations such as Europe and Africa. There are your water vapor maps. I got hammered by bugs yesterday. I was out cutting trees and bushes, and I was getting hammered by bugs. It's not as bad as getting hammered by a flying squirrel, and I actually had a flying squirrel try to jump on my arm today. Yeah, if you've just tuned in, view the earlier section. Had to catch a flying squirrel using a trout net and a cookie sheet. It wasn't so fun. I also used a box. Consumer tip: if you have to catch a flying squirrel, have a friend shine a flashlight in their eyes. They're nocturnal, and if you blind them, their vision will suck, and they'll tend to freeze in place. Here are water vapor maps for you Easterners. Those of you who live around the international date line, which is like someplace around here. I'm going to spend a New Year's Eve at American Samoa. Pago Pago. Leave us a comment if you want to head to Pago Pago for New Year's Eve one of these years. Here's a water vapor map for the Americas. Yeah, they have COVID in Pago Pago and nobody gives a shit. It's a statistically irrelevant, common cold-like waste of your time and energy. Sorry, COVID, it's true. For you can... Ah, yes. By the way, that's a Street Fighter II reference, if you weren't aware. Here are the jet streams for the Western world. And look at the extreme meridional jet stream flow. These little weirdo cells here all over the place. Here are the jets of the eastern world. I'm over commenting on it. Here are pressure cells. This is where they are currently. Actually, they're kind of like here currently. Here's where they'll be, according to the GFS forecast, tomorrow at noon my time. Please leave a comment if at noon my time you'll be drinking a Mai Tai. We apologize if we've pressed too many keys. I'd like to know where lightning's striking, so I head to lightningmaps.org when I hear thunder. It could save my bacon. Look at how much lightning in the area around the Caribbean here. And around the Isthmus. The Isthmus of Panama. Lots of lightning once again in the Caribbean. And we're seeing odd spots here, lightning in the same place. And here's some errant bolts by themselves out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Oh my God, do you think maybe Bigfoot gated in? Maybe Bigfoot accidentally landed in the ocean instead of the forest. Who knows? Could have been a spaceship. Do you think maybe it was a spaceship? Must have been a spaceship. And we see some snow falling in Wyoming and Montana, as well as northern Michigan and Minnesota. Who would have thought it? Here's what's going on in the cloud layer. Let me blow it up. It's the NASA GOES Interactive Weather Satellite Shortwave Radiation Map. It's 3.9 nanometers, yo. Anyway, I like this convergence zone over Nebraska. Let's zoom in. It's the point of very cold air, really. The jet stream sending some very cold air across the entire Rocky Mountain range and heading east just as it gets to Colorado. Here's what's going on in water vapor. And let's zoom in on the Great Lakes region, as we've got some snow falling, and perhaps folks will be interested in where it's going to go next. And you might see stagnating systems here, as we've got a very consistent flow provided by the jet stream. And we'll also zoom in on the Texas-Oklahoma border here. Oh, look right here. You can see this. Oh my God, it must be gravity waves, folks. Look, it's gravity waves. Gravity waves, man. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. Gravity waves, man. It's nuts. You lost a horse to West Nile? That's insane. And terrible. Colorado might be blowing a bong hit at you. I'm not sure. That could be a thing. Let's look a little closer. You would expect to see a lot of water vapor, right, on exhalation? No, I don't think it's Colorado, yo. It's not Colorado. Do you find us to be good, fast, and cheap? Well, we're really just only two of those things. I mean, you can't really be all three. So choose two. You can either be bad, in which case you'll be fast and cheap, or you could be slow, where you're like good and cheap, but it takes forever. Or you could be what we like to be, expensive, which is good and fast, but not cheap. Other folks that aren't cheap are our patrons. Patreon.com/smashamash if you'd like the updates before anybody else gets them. And look for all kinds of new things happening over this winter period as we create greater and greater incentives for our patrons. Patreon.com/smashamash, the real source of funding for the content. Now, yesterday we talked about our affiliate links. We've dipped our tippy toe into the affiliate space, and smashamash.com/affiliate will show you a whole shopping list of things. We've been advertising the 18-stage power filter, shower with power, with our Hopo Pro high output shower filter. It won't reduce the flow, but it'll get rid of things like chlorine and fluoride, according to HapoPro. And no, I haven't done tests on it, although I do work in an actual lab. So if you head to smashamash.com/affiliate, we've got a new item on the list, so perhaps check that out. It's a shopping list of things that I not only endorse, but use. We don't advertise anything here that we don't use or test personally, so we may not have all things in stock, but we do or have used all the items. The latest on the list is the shower head that goes with that filter, and we've installed it. Let me just press refresh here, give it a minute to reload. That was my fault, not Smash staff's. So I try to blame Smash staff for things, but in this case I have to blame myself since it was my fault. We've also installed this, the Gurin shower head, and it is fantastic. It's got this, oh, it's so good. I mean, it's so good. I don't know what else to tell you. It's great. It's got a low flow and a high flow option. You just pull out the one filter and put in a different filter. Just get rid of that low flow restrictor. And oh man, it is, oh, it's a delight. By the way, thanks Smash Team. Let me bring up the chat one more time before we close this thing out, as it is about that time. Gravity wave could have been caused by the bong hit. I don't know. I don't know. All right, what am I doing here? I've got the wrong things on the screen. There we go. Thanks again, Smash Team. Please share the content on your social media, etc. We've got bonus features. And today's apparel is actually the same apparel that I'm currently wearing. It's the I Survived a Global Pandemic so far in gold. You can also get it in Team Purple or in black. Congratulations on surviving a global pandemic so far. Thanks for flying American Smashways. Please keep your head and arms inside the smash plane at all times, or you could suddenly start on fire, and we don't want that. We're going to show you bonus features, including the 304 angstroms full solar disk SDO 48-hour video, the colorized magnetogram, and the intensitygram with a focus on sunspot 2776. So here you go. There's an image of the fields, which all appear to be North Pole, and the sunspot has degraded since we started the video. There's the latest image. I'm not so sure that's alpha class. That might be beta class. It's pretty hard to tell which polarity is which there. But there are definitely two distinct umbral regions. I think there's two polarities there. I think that's a beta class sunspot. That's my best guess. Anyway, here's 304 angstroms. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink, and if you do, don't drive. Or maybe just don't drive, period. I might be out there, and I don't want to see you, no matter how much I like you. Allow me to vanish. Thank you one more time, and give you well wishes in that the solar wind be at your back, and the covidiously absent from your locale.